Hello and welcome. You've joined CJ Gilbert for Ask a Web Geek. This is episode 12 of Ask a Web Geek, in which we talk about your questions. We're here to answer any questions you have on websites, marketing, email campaigns, social media, anything that's holding you back in your business, anything that can help you move forward in your business, some tool or online website or technology that could help you with your business. That's what we're here to talk about. I'll go over some of the previous things we've discussed here in a little bit, but I wanted to share with you some of our jungle animals today. I don't have anyone new to share with you, but as always, I've got two standbys right here. We've got Liz the lizard right over here over my shoulder. She's always hanging out. If you have any questions for her, she's right over here. And we've got Gary, our gorilla. He's usually up in this tree behind me, but I brought him down so he could say hi to you today. So there's Gary. Gary says hi. So if you have any questions for Gary, there we go. So we've got all the bases covered. We've got Liz over here. We've got Gary over here. If you have a tree-related question, if you have a ground-related question, I do have a whole... What's the right word for a collection of spiders? I wonder what that word is. Emily, look that up later, would you? I'm going to go with a menagerie for now. I don't know if that's the right word, but menagerie of spiders. I'm wondering if there's anyone out. Let's just look. Hang on just a second. Well, do you want to see one? I don't know if she'll run away, but let's just find out, right? Let's just find out. Oh, she's starting to run away. She's going to run away, but let's see if we can get a good shot of her before she does. This is Misty. Can you see her right there? Before she runs away and hides, you can see Misty right here, just jumping down into her hole. She was up on top, but like I mentioned, as soon as I move her container, she'll run away. But there she is. Can you see her? She's so big. We got her as a little teeny baby at the beginning of this year, and she is already so big. There's a lot of glare off my computers and the window and stuff, but there you can see her moving. She's crawling around. Hard to see, I know. We'll get some better cameras and better setup so I can share these guys with you, because they're so pretty. So there's Misty. So I have a whole bunch of these beautiful creatures right over here. So when I say that I'm coming to you from the web cave, I'm not kidding. I've got 8 spiders right here next to me, live in the web cave with me, and they're beautiful. Alrighty, so I got to share some animals with you. Let's go ahead and jump into the material. Anything else I want to share with you on my camera before we jump into the show? Just want to thank Melissa, one of our community members, and her beautiful gift to me of her mug, The Active Life Company. When she gave me this mug, she became the first official mug sponsor of the show, The Active Life Company. I'll be giving her another shout out here in just a few minutes. If you have a mug with your logo or brand on it and you'd like to give me one, I will accept it gladly. I will use it on the show. I will thank you publicly, and we will consider that a sponsorship of the show, and we will give you a shout out and mention you in upcoming shows. So this is an opportunity for you to become a sponsor of the show for the cost of giving me a mug with your logo on it. That's the only sponsorship opportunity I have right now. So if you have any other ideas, I'm always open to your ideas and suggestions. Alrighty. Enough of all that. Let's jump into the material. Are we ready? Very good. Here we go. Ask a Web Geek with CJ Gilbert. I'm your web safari guide. I was telling the Facebook community a little earlier. By the way, join our Facebook community for all the before and after behind the scenes stuff that goes on in the show. We were chatting a little bit about my adventures last week, and I was suffering a little bit from dehydration on last week's show. So I apologize if any of that, but came through. But you know what? That's just part of working and living in the web jungle. So let me ask you this. What would you like to ask a web geek? I'm here to teach you that your website is your number one tool to grow and support your business. your number one tool. What? Your website is your number one tool to grow and support your business. And if you think of it like a tool, it's not something you just build once and forget about it. It's something that should actively be working in your business every day, just like you are. And if you think of it from that perspective, it's going to attract more customers, which is going to help make more sales. It's going to enhance your customer service. It's going to increase your efficiency. All these things add up to save time, save money, and ultimately serve your clients better, faster, and easier. I want to take a moment and say congratulations. You are here because you want to improve your business and you're taking the steps you need to do so. So I say good for you. Take just a minute to acknowledge yourself that you're one of the few people that's working on your business, working to improve your life. And I want to say congratulations and good for you. I'm glad you're here this morning. So what are we doing? This is the Ask a Web Geek show, where this guy right here, CJ Gilbert, is your guide through the internet jungle. But it's not just me. We have a whole community of people. We have almost 100 people in our Facebook community. If you are hearing me right now, jump into our Facebook community, join. You could be the 100th person to join our community. Wouldn't that be exciting? As of this moment, 9:30 a.m. on Wednesday, October 16th, we have 97 members in the group, which is so amazing to me. We've been doing this now for 11, coming up on 12 weeks, and I'm just so thrilled that 100 of you have decided to join our community, and I really appreciate you doing that. Invite a friend, would you, to join our community. So this is how it works. We go live first into the Facebook group at 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern, every Wednesday. The show begins right there in the Facebook group. We go live and we just have a little chit chat, and I'm drinking some coffee and having a chat with the people coming in and out of the chat room, which I refer to as our studio audience. That's who I'm talking to, who I'm referencing down here in the corner with the little chat window. I would love for you to join our Facebook community so you could be one of those people chatting with me during the show. This morning in the pregame show, I solved 2 Rubik's Cubes. These 2 Rubik's Cubes sitting behind me, we solved those on the show this morning. So if you want to see all that thrilling action, that's where it was, in the Facebook group. So we go live in the Facebook group, and then we officially kick off the show at some point, and that's the show that then goes later on to YouTube and as a podcast. So if you're watching me right now on YouTube, thank you for being here. Would love it if you'd subscribe. Would love it if you'd like the show, share it with others, and come join our Facebook group, because that's where you'll be able to ask questions. I'll accept your questions as a comment on YouTube for sure, but if you want to participate in the chat live during the recording of the show, come on over to Facebook, because that's where it happens. So we go live in Facebook, we take that show, it goes over to YouTube, and it also becomes a podcast. If you're listening to me as a podcast right now, so good to have you here. Thanks so much. I love podcasts. It's thrilling to me that I have my own, almost accidentally, as a result of doing this show. But that's amazing to me. And people are telling me they're listening to it as a podcast and getting a lot of value out of it that way. So that is phenomenal. You know, our brains work in this magic way where you're going to hear something new and different every time you interact with the show. So the purpose of having it in these multiple places is there's multiple reasons. Number one, people are in these different places, and I want to reach people no matter what medium they're using to get to it. Maybe they're on Facebook, maybe they're on YouTube, maybe they're on Twitter, maybe they're a podcast listener, and in one of those methods, they stumble across the show. Fantastic. I love that. But if you want to, you can participate in all the methods. You can jump into the Facebook show. You can watch the show live as it's being recorded, interact, ask me questions, give me comments. I would love that. You can watch it later. You don't have to be here live on Wednesday morning. You can come to the Facebook group anytime, watch any of the shows. I leave all the shows totally unedited, uncut, with all the stupid things that I say in the Facebook community, so you can see all the nonsense there. Then we trim it up just a teeny bit to take it to YouTube and as a podcast. And we have a little intro and outro music at that point, and I edit some of the more stupid things out that drive me crazy later. Again, I leave it all in Facebook, so you're welcome. And then the show goes to YouTube. and as a podcast. So I also want to mention we are on Twitter. If you're a Twitter user, follow me, Ask a Web Geek, at AskAWebGeek on Twitter. And you are always welcome, no matter what time of day or night. If you're listening to the show maybe as a podcast or even on YouTube as a video, tweet along with the show and just use you can tweet directly to me by putting at AskAWebGeek in the body of your text. I would also love it if you use our hashtag AskAWebGeek, or if you have a particularly long message, you can use AaWG. There's some other people using that hashtag. I don't know why, but I'm going to claim it for this show. AaWG stands for AskAWebGeek. So if you use any of those channels or all of those channels, I would love to have your involvement there and your support of the show and the ability to speak with you, engage with you, answer questions anytime, either live while the show's recording, later when you're watching it, or on Twitter. It's the magic of the internet. It's the time gets all wibbly wobbly. So it doesn't matter when you're seeing this or what day or what time. You can always tweet to me or leave a comment, and we'll absolutely talk with that method. So glad you're doing that. Glad you're with us this morning. Hey, here's a real quick disclaimer. You must be willing to have your question or issue addressed in a public forum. I'll do everything I can to protect your privacy. All password fields are always obscured. I also have the ability to do things on different screens before we bring them onto the screen that everyone's looking at. So if there's if you want us to work on something on your website or one of your social media tools or something, but there's something you don't want us to show, like when we're logging in or something, that's okay. We can work around that. So make sure to have that conversation with me if there's any privacy that we want to protect. Otherwise, ask me questions that I can just publicly answer, and I would love to do that. Also, keep in mind, this is not legal or professional advice. I'm just a web geek, you guys. I know a lot about the internet. I know a lot about these tools that we need to use for our business. I know a lot about sales and customer service and email marketing and Gmail and all of these tools online, social media. And so that's what I'm here to talk about. But I am not an attorney and I'm not a CPA. So if you want to make any changes to your business, I recommend that you have those professionals in your pocket. And if you need one of those, let me know, because I'll introduce you to a couple people. I would love for you to have an attorney, and I would love for you to have a CPA. These are the certified professionals you need to have as part of your team for your business. So keep in mind that I will give you the best advice and information that I have. It may not always be correct. This is my own personal opinion, and you are responsible for everything. You accept responsibility for everything. CJ and Ask a Web Geek is responsible for nothing except to make you laugh and have a good time. All right, who am I? Hey, who is this guy? This is CJ Gilbert, and I'm a web developer. I've been a web developer for over 20 years, and now I'm a speaker and author. I teach business owners how to think of their website like a tool so they can better attract more customers, make more sales, improve their customer service, so they can save time, save money, and serve their clients better, faster, and easier. My business is to serve your business. I have a business-to-business business, which means that I'm not a business that can be found by the entire population of people. I am only serving the business community, but that does extend to small business owners, entrepreneurs, independent professionals, speakers, authors, coaches, nonprofits, anyone that's using a website for their business or to share their message. I can help you. Anyone that's using online tools and technology to save you time or supposedly save you time, I can help you. That's what I'm here to do. My business is to serve you, and I want you to do more business. I want you to do better business. Be on the lookout for that golden nugget. You know, I was mentioning a few minutes ago, our minds are so interesting. As you consume this information in repetition, whether you're live on the call with me, or you watch it later on Facebook, or you watch it later on YouTube, or you listen to it later as a podcast, or you do all of the above, you're going to find something new and different every single time you watch the show or you listen to the show. It's fascinating. That's just the way our minds work. So just be open for your golden nugget today, and you're going to get something out of it. I just know it. And then I'd love for you to tell me later what that was. That's a fascinating experience. I recommend you grab some paper, you draw a line right down the middle or maybe just slightly to the right of the middle. Label the left side notes, label the right side actions. In that left side, that's where you're going to make all the notes about what I'm talking about and the things that we're going over as the show goes on, as the call goes on here. All your notes can go in that left-hand column, and then you're going to have items that you want to move very quickly on. They're going to stand out to you, and you're going to tell yourself, that's something I want to do today. That's something I want to do right away. So make sure to jot that into that right-hand column, that action column, so you can find it very easily and take action on that after the show. And make sure to star those golden nuggets, whatever column they're in, so you can find them later. And tell me what those are. Ask a Web Geek, sponsored this week by a few wonderful people. Let's start off with saying hello and thank you to Melissa with the Active Life Company. She gave me a coffee mug and became our very first coffee mug sponsor of the show. So we want to say thank you, Melissa, and we want to encourage you to check out her website, theactivelifecompany.com. Her product is Cover, which is an all-natural skin protectant. It's like a sunscreen for your active lifestyle, whether you enjoy hiking or fishing or tobogganing or what other things do you guys do out there? Hiking. I'm usually in the jungle or in the cave here, but I understand people do all kinds of stuff outdoors. If that's you, make sure to pick up some of this product right here to keep yourself covered, keep yourself protected. And look what she did. She made a special code just for you to get an extra 15% off because you're part of our community and she is too. And that code is WebGeek, all one word, all uppercase, WEBGEEK, WebGeek. So if you're part of our Ask a Web Geek community, you can use this special code WebGeek to get 15% off any of your purchases at theactivelifecompany.com. Theactivelifecompany.com. Thanks, Melissa. Also want you to check out my free video workshop. A couple of years ago, I accidentally wrote a book called 5 Golden Keys to Sharpen Your Website. And I wrote this book because I discovered most business owners know they need a website, but they have no idea what to do with it. So I started writing down some of my thoughts, and I accidentally wrote this book called 5 Golden Keys to Sharpen Your Website, which I'm teaching you as a business owner. Think of your website like a tool. It doesn't need to be complicated. It doesn't need to be full of technical jargon. It's what can we do to make it work for your business in a very real, practical sense. So I've made a free workshop for you. You're a busy professional. You might not have time to read a book. So you might want some videos. So I made you some videos. There's 7 videos. Each one of them is less than 10 minutes. And there's some questions and exercises pretty much at the end of each one of them. A couple worksheets for you to download, a couple tools and resources. You can take this course right here. You can take it one bite at a time, one video at a time, and work on something. Or you can go straight through, or you'll have a choice if you want to get the reminder email once a day for 7 days or once every 3 days for, well, it wouldn't be 7 days. It'll be 7 emails, whether you get them one a day or once every 3 days. That'll spread it out over 3 weeks. So whatever your method of learning is, you want to do it all at once on a day or a weekend, great, you can. You want to do it once a day and work on it over the course of a week, great, you can. Or you want to spread it out a little further, work on it once every 3 days, spread it out over the course of 3 weeks, you can do that too. So all the details are over here for you at mywebsitesafari.com. Improve your website, improve your business, improve your results. And I also want to tell you about my website treasure hunt. So this is a service that I'm offering. It's a 45-minute virtual safari. Basically, it's kind of like that workshop, but we talk about everything. In those videos, I can only cover a couple points. Whereas in this website treasure hunt, this is a personal conversation, it's a private conversation between you and me. The setup is very similar in that we're on the computer, we can screen share, we can look at your website. I have an 85-point treasure map that we're going to go through, and we're going to go right down the list and enhance everything we can about your search, how people find you, your sales, how they choose to do business with you, and your customer service, ways we can increase your efficiency, help your customers, help you save time, for everybody. We're looking for win-win situations. This is an affordable package. I think it's less than $200. There's an upgrade if you want to have a video. I can produce a video for you to keep forever, and I think that's only $250. I'm saying those prices now, but they may go up in the future, so don't hold me to it. But go over here to website treasurehunt.com and learn more about that. That may be something you want to book with me right now today. We'll take a look at your website. We'll come up with all the ideas we possibly can using my treasure map, and we'll find out all the pieces that you can improve in your website for your business, okay? Let me know if you have any questions on that. Otherwise, go right over here, website treasurehunt.com. Website treasurehunt.com. Melissa says, thank you. You're so welcome, Melissa. Thank you for being part of our community. I'm glad that you're here. I love that you're here with us and that you became our first sponsor. It makes me happy, and I'm really happy to give you a shout out. I can't promise I'll do it on every show forever, but for now, I'm really happy to do it. All right, buckle up. It's time to stay hydrated. Make sure that you're hydrated. Last week I was suffering from a little dehydration on the show, which was evident to me when I was editing it. But that's what happens when you're battling through the jungle sometimes. Hopefully I can help you avoid those pits, those traps, and take some of that. If through my own mistakes and my own journey, maybe I can uncover some things that we can help you avoid in the future. All right, so last week on the show, for our featured topic of the week, we did something kind of interesting. We took a field trip and we jumped over into my email list service. I use AWeber. If you don't already have an email list service, I recommend AWeber. You can use my link, aweber.gilbertstudios.com, to go check that out and get a free trial. I really recommend that you use a professional email list service like this. It's going to cover your assets. It's going to make sure you're protected with the liability of having an email list and sending email to a mass group of people. You want to make sure you're doing it in the right and legal way to do it. And it's a service. It allows people to opt into your list. You know you're protected. They know they're protected because you're not going to send them spam email. You're only going to email them the information that they've signed up to receive. So it's a win-win. I'm always looking for that win-win. Anyway, we jumped into that software and we created an email that then became part of my email sequence. And I wanted to give you some follow-up information on that. So the first thing is, we had a question. The email that I created and added to my email sequence, did that automatically go out to the people that were already on that list? And the answer is yes, it did. I got a copy of that email myself 3 days later. So it still followed the rule. The rule said, wait 3 days and then send this email out. So it did that. It waited 3 days. We recorded on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yep, on Saturday, it sent out that email to me and the few other people that are on that list. So that was really cool to see. So what did I do then? So then I copied that email and I sent it to everybody else on my list. I've got a couple different lists depending on which website people have signed up, which offer they signed up on. Again, I mentioned this last week. There's a sliding scale of how complex we can make these things for you. We can make them more complicated, less complicated. It really depends on your needs and what you're trying to achieve. You could just have one list and that's all you ever need and you just send to that list. I have a couple because you may have signed up for my workshop, right? You may have signed up for this show. So I have a couple lists. So there's only a handful of people that are on the Ask A Web Geek list. So this automatic email went out to those people. So then what I did is I created a copy of the email and sent it out to everybody else on my list so they could all see the email that we created, learn about the shows, and what we covered in those other episodes. So I created that email and had it sent out to my list yesterday, Tuesday. So you, if you're on the Ask A Web Geek list, you got the email on Saturday. If you're anyone else on my list, you would have gotten the email on Tuesday morning. And I created a special rule so that the people that already got the email on Saturday did not get it again on Tuesday. So that's something we can do. There's a way to tell the system, look, I already know you sent this email to these people. Don't send it to them again. Only send it to these people over here that haven't seen it yet. And that's important. We want to make sure that we're we want to encourage people to sign up for our email list, but then we want to take care of them. We don't want to abuse that privilege. We don't want to send them too many emails. We don't want to send them multiple emails of the, multiple copies of the same email. So we have to think about those things. We want to respect our email list and the people on our list. And then the last thing I want to tell you is I added a note. You watched me create that whole email, and it exists exactly as we created it on the show, with one exception. I went ahead and added another line. We listed out all the videos 1 through 10. I went ahead and added in 11 just to say, hey, episode 11, we created this email. Isn't that cool? So that was the only thing that I added to the email since you saw it last on the show. So anyway, just wanted to give you those updates. We created the email. You watched how we did that in live time. I do recognize that there were parts of that were a little slow because it was me thinking, what am I going to write in this email? But I decided to let you see that whole experience because, sometimes people do these educational videos and they pre-plan out all the pieces. And it's like, okay, here's how we do the email. And then you take the email copy and you paste it in and you take this and go. And then you have the experience of you open it up. Okay, what am I going to write? And it just doesn't feel that easy because you have to write it in real time and think about how it works. So I wanted you to experience that with me. So if you watch that last episode 11, you're going to see me in real time work through that process of how do we want it to say? Do we want it to say this way? Do we want it to say this way? And you can kind of see how my brain changed its mind a couple times, and we ended up with the email that we did. And I'm very pleased with with the results. So I wanted you to experience the agony and the ecstasy with me of creating an email and all the steps involved in that. So I recognize it's a little slow in parts, and I can only imagine it's a super great podcast to listen to me think. But there's a purpose behind it. So I did not edit anything out of that piece because I wanted you to see what it was like when I write an email, because you'll have a similar experience. Okay, let's check our comments down here. How are we doing, gang? Are we having any other questions or comments before we move in to the next piece of the show? I got a text from Garrison. Garrison, I'll have to text you back in a few minutes. Okay, let's see here. Let's move on into the next piece of our show. I wanted to take you on another field trip. So let me take a quick sip of coffee from my Active Life Company mug. In today's show, we are going to take another field trip. Let me swap my slides for the website, AskAWebGeek.com. If you have not already, would you please go right over here to the Ask A Web Geek website at AskAWebGeek.com and click this blue button to subscribe to YouTube. Would love it. If you're already on YouTube, you can come to the Ask A Web Geek website at AskAWebGeek.com and click on this green button to join our Facebook group. So wherever place you are now, click and join the other thing. And we would love to have you part of our community. Also subscribe as a podcast. Also leave me a review. Only if it's a 5-star review. Okay, so what are we doing next? Next, we are going to take a field trip. Yes, and we are going right over here. I got to pull it up so I can see it. Good. Now we're going to jump over here. Okay, so here's my plan for today's show. On last week's episode, we created an email and we set that up to send. Today, we're going to do some social media. This is an excellent suggestion from my wife, Emily, and we were talking yesterday, and I said, what should I share on the show today? And she said, I might actually watch your show this week if you talk about how to pre-schedule a social media post. So I thought that was an excellent idea, and we are absolutely going to do that right now. Garrison, glad you're back with us. Welcome back. He had some technical difficulties, but he's back now. There are a couple ways in a couple of these different social media platforms to pre-schedule your post. I am not going to go into each one of the platforms and show you how to do that. Instead, I'm going to show you how to use a tool that I use to publish to multiple platforms at once, and you can also use it to pre-schedule your posts. And this is a tool that we've talked about before on the show, but I don't think we've ever actually looked at how it works and how to make it work for you. So we're going to do that today. The software that I use to do this is called Buffer. I know we've talked about it before because a couple weeks ago, we had a conversation between, I'm sorry, I can't remember who asked the question now, but they said, hey, how do we do this? And Dr. Rob Garcia jumped in and said, here's how I do it. I've got a landing page, and then we've got an email opt-in, and then we send an email, and then we pre-schedule posts on social media, and he mentioned that he uses Buffer to do that. So I thought, great opportunity, great suggestion from my wife, Emily. Thanks, honey, love you, to show you how I do that in Buffer. So we're going to do that today. We're going to jump right over here to the Buffer website. I want to tell you a couple things about what we're seeing. By the way, as I mentioned in last week's show, there is so much information to give you. There is no such thing as a stupid question. If you have any questions about anything that I go over, please ask me, because it is just not possible in the 15 minutes that I'm presenting this material to you to cover literally every checkbox and dot and reason behind everything. So I want you to ask me follow-up questions like, hey, I saw you do this, but next to it there was this other thing, and how does that work, and why do we care? And ask me any questions you want. I would love to come back and answer any questions about something I didn't cover. I'm going to just move through it as best I can right now, but please know I invite your questions about anything we're going over. I can come back to it and we can talk about reasons behind it. There's just so much information to share. I just don't have the time. Does this make sense? I don't have the time in this 5-10 minute section to talk about everything I possibly want to tell you about. I don't want to give you too much information at once either. So I'm just going to give you as much as I think makes sense in this moment, and I invite you to ask me those follow-up questions. Okay, so we're inside my Buffer dashboard. Let me turn and look right at it here. We're inside my Buffer dashboard, and the first thing that you'll notice is on this left side, you can see all the different social media platforms that I'm connected to. That means from this one dashboard, I can publish a post to any of these places right here. So you'll see I've got two, and I just removed some that I'm not really using anymore. So I've got 2 Twitter accounts. I've got our Facebook group, Ask A Web Geek, which I don't often use from here. 3 Twitter accounts, my LinkedIn, my Instagram, and 2 Facebook pages. So Buffer is a service that you can sign up for free, and I think you can connect up to 3 accounts with the free version. I hope that's true what I'm saying right now. Is there a way I can look that up for you? Yes. Yes, there is. Let's first of all see what happens if we go to the home page. That's not it. Hang on just a second. Come on. Did you guys want to watch CJ type? Did you guys want to watch CJ biff it at typing? Okay, here we go. Here's what I'm looking for. I want to take you to their pricing page. Come on, internet. If my kids are streaming shows in the background, that's not helpful. Okay, so here it's telling us about the Pro account is $15 a month, and you can have up to 8 social accounts, and you can have up to 100 scheduled posts, and you can have 1 user. There is the free plan, which is 3 social accounts and 10 scheduled posts. So this is the perfect thing for you to try it with the free account. Totally free, come sign up, and you can connect up to 3 accounts. That may be all you need. You got your LinkedIn, maybe Facebook, maybe do you use one other thing, Twitter or Instagram or something? I use a bunch of them. So I've purchased this first plan right here, the Pro plan. It makes sense for me because of how much I use it. So let me tell you the 2 different ways that I use Buffer. A lot of times I'm just using Buffer to post in multiple places at once. It's a time saver. I have the app on my phone, so I pull it up. Let's say I'm at a networking meeting. I snap a picture of everyone that's there. I pull up the Buffer app on my phone. I say, having a great time networking, drop in a couple hashtags, go. and it automatically sends it for me to Twitter, to LinkedIn, to Instagram. Instagram works a little bit differently. It does not automatically post to Instagram, but what it does is it handles the processing for you, opens the app on your phone, and allows you to more easily post to Instagram. So that's a pretty cool feature. What to tell you? So I use it live. I most frequently use it to make a live post to multiple places at once. And I recommend you do that too. It's a great time saver. But this is where the power really takes off. You also have the ability to pre-schedule posts. So check it out right here. You can see an upcoming post that I've already created that's going to be shared to, we're looking at my LinkedIn channel, but I've got it on a couple of them. So this post right here is going to go out at 11:11 this morning, and it's going to tell about my free video workshop. What I did is I created kind of a promo video a couple weeks ago on this show. Was it a week ago? A couple weeks ago at some point, I referenced giving away my video workshop as a gift from your business. So I took just that segment and created a little 2.5 minute promo video out of it, which is now going live on YouTube. And this post right here is going to go out in an hour telling people that that video is available and to come check it out. So let's do another one right here together so you can watch how that happens. So here's the post that's going to go out with my link to my video, my little promo video. So I want to do another one right now, which is just about the website treasure hunt as a service. And we'll go ahead and create a post right now. So again, I have not totally pre-planned how this is going to work. So please bear with me for just a moment, if you would please, as I hunt for all the pieces that we're going to need. First of all, my slides are in the way and I can't see anything. Okay. Do I want to totally risk collapsing everything? I really don't. Okay. What do I do here? Sometimes I'm working with people and I say, oh, I'm sorry that this is giving me a hard time, or I'm battling with something. And they say, are you kidding? I love to watch you fight with your computer. It makes me feel so much better about the times that I fight with my computer. Okay, but I cannot see my screen behind these slides. Come on, slides. All right. So I don't want to collapse everything. I just want to get to the screen behind. Okay, we're going to do it. No, we're not. All right, this is fascinating. This is fascinating radio here. We're going to do it a different way. I'll tell you what I'm looking for right now is I want to go, I've got some pieces saved. So I think I'm going to grab a previous version of my post, because I already do have a picture created, and I bet I also have some copy, which will save us just a little bit of time, and you won't have to listen to me think, because I know how fascinating that can be. Oh, I think we found it. Hey, there we go. There it is. And do I already have some text I can use? Yes, I do. All right. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. We'll go with this. Okay, now that I've got that up and available, I'm going to pop back over to my browser. Let me find it. You guys are looking at it, but let me find it. Boom, there it is. Okay, now I'm ready to go. Thank you for indulging me for a moment while I found those pieces. I will help you organize information on your computer. Do you need to be able to get to certain information faster, easier, better? I will teach you how to use folders and save things together so you can more easily find them. It did take me a minute to find that, but I was able to find it so quickly because I kind of knew where to look for it. So, okay, here's how this works. So I'm going to click right here, and it's going to open up this window. We are in the LinkedIn channel, but it's also allowing me to post to multiple places. So right here, I'm telling it where I want it to post. I want it to post to my Twitter. I want it to post to LinkedIn. I want it to post to Instagram. And I can have it post to both of my Facebook pages. In this case, I'm going to deselect this one. I'm only going to have it shared in my Gilbert Studios page. And then later, I'm going to come back to my Gilbert Studios page and share it to my CJ page and my personal profile as well. So now we need some text and we need a picture. You don't always have to have a text. You don't always have to have a picture, but that's just the way that I'm building it right now. So here's my text. So I'm going to paste that in because I do have some text pre-written for that. And this text says, your website should be doing so much more for you. Let's find the hidden treasure. Check out our new website treasure hunt. Just edit this text a little bit. Check out our new website treasure hunt. Let's review your current website together, and we'll reveal ways to improve your search, sales, and customer service, allowing you to save money, save time, and serve your clients better, faster, and easier. Okay, I want to do a couple things. I want to drop in a couple more hashtags. Ask me about hashtags. Ask me about why I'm using these hashtags. Ask me any follow-up questions you have about anything that I'm doing right now. I'm going to add Ask a Web Geek and Website Wednesday. It's a new hashtag I made up and I've been using for this show, and I'll also use it on this one because it's Wednesday and we're going to share it. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so I also want to add this picture. So it automatically, it sees that I have a link in here, so it's automatically going to go to that page and start pulling images. So if you want to grab an image that already exists on that page, they make it real easy. You can just click one of these images right here. It says, hey, we found 8 images on this page. You want to use any of these? In this case, I don't, because I have a special promo image I've created. So I'm going to click right here. No, I'm going to click right here to upload that image. It's going to say, where do you want to put that? It's right here. I've got the graphic right here. Want to make sure it's the right one. Yep, and I'm going to click open. It's going to go ahead and upload it. Zoop, 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 zoop. Okay, so we've got our text ready. We've got our picture ready. Now I'm going to click this button, and it's going to allow us to customize this post for each social media channel. This step does not happen on the mobile device. You don't have this next step on the mobile device. You set it up once and it shares it to all of them at once. I'll go over that later. For now, you'll notice that when we click this right here, it's going to now allow us to address each one of these social media channels. And this is good because probably the most important reason right here, you'll notice that Twitter, it limits your characters. You only have about 240 characters. So I'm actually going to pull out a lot of this text only for our Twitter post, which allows us to leave it in for the other posts. So there it is. I just trimmed out some of the copy. Now the rest of it can fit there in Twitter. So that's all set. We're going to take a look at how Facebook is doing. Now in Facebook, I'm going to trim out some of these hashtags because they are not as super used on Facebook as they are on Twitter and Instagram and LinkedIn. So I'm going to trim some of them out there. And then let's check out how Instagram is going to post it. Okay, I will share this other information. So in Instagram, a couple weeks ago, we talked about using a tool called Linktree because you only have the ability to put one link in your Instagram profile. And when you create posts, none of those links turn into links. So what do? So I talked on a previous show. What show was that? I can't reference it right now. I'm going to come back to it in just a minute because I have it on a slide coming up. So I'll tell you, remind me, and I'll tell you in just a second which episode that was in, about what tool I use. Garrison's asking the question, what is a good number or max number of hashtags you should use? Great question, Garrison. It is different for each platform. So on Twitter, use as many as you can comfortably fit into that character limit without totally obliterating your message. It's going to be a balance. You have 240 characters, so it's a balance between the message you're sharing and the hashtags, which are kind of like keywords that get people to find your message. There's a balance between the two. On Instagram, there's no limit. Go nuts. Make the body of your text as much as you want it to be, and then add as many hashtags as you want to after that. There doesn't seem to be a limit on hashtags in Instagram, and it's very popular to make up your own, make jokes, make random ones. That's all Instagram friendly. And then Facebook is the totally other direction. I might say use no more than 2 or 3 on Facebook because it just doesn't seem to be very popular. Facebook has made it as a thing that works on Facebook. You can click a hashtag in someone's post and see all the other people sharing it. But what I'm hearing from social media people is that it's just not very well used right now. So thanks for your question. Great question from Garrison. A perfect example of questions you can ask me live as the show goes on. Hey, there's Tom. Hi, Tom. Tom is one of my WordPress developers. And if you have a WordPress project or you have a lot of complicated things, Tom is one of the people I'll bring in on my team to help you solve that. So shout out to Tom. Glad you're with us this morning. We're using Buffer right now to create a social media post. So we've just been reviewing. We're looking at the Instagram. Oh yeah, I'm going to tell you where Linktree, where I talked about that. So the whole reason I'm bringing that up is this link right here is not going to be a clickable link in Instagram. So I'm going to add a little piece of text more to my Instagram post that says link in profile. So anyone that sees that can know I realize this isn't going to be a clickable link, so they can't click it. But what they can do is they can click my name, Gilbert Studios, and then they can click the link in my profile, and then they can find it there. Okay, so I will show you what I need to do about that next. So I've got this little extra piece of text there, and then we'll just check Instagram. Instagram is fine. I'm sorry. LinkedIn is fine just as is. I'm going to say it again. There are multiple levels of complexity to this. We can make this as simple as you want. We can make it a little more complicated. Would you believe I don't even do it as complicated as is possible because there's always more that you can do with these tools. Okay, all that looks good so far. I will come back. In fact, I'm going to open up this link over here to my link tree. I'll show you how that works too. Bonus material. Okay, so the last thing we're going to do is schedule what time we want this post to share. So I already have one coming out at 11:11, which is going to talk about the video that I made, the promo video. So let's have this one go out in the afternoon. What do we think? About 2:30, about 3:30? What's your thoughts? What time should I have this one go out? I want it to be this afternoon. 3:07. Sure, why not? We're going to have this set at 3:07 today. So all I have to do is click schedule, and the software is going to say, okay, we'll take care of that. And you'll notice it right there. It's popping up, and you can see your posts that are scheduled. So now as we look here, we've got 2 posts scheduled. We've got one coming out at 11:11, which is going to share my link to my YouTube promo video. And then right here, we've got one coming out at 3:07. A couple other things to share with you real quick. You'll notice there's these blank spots. What you can do is you can, again, there's multiple levels of complexity. You can pre-schedule time slots that you'd like your post to be able to share. And that way, when you're sharing these posts, you don't have to set a specific time like I just did. You can just click the button that says add to queue. Add to queue, add to queue, add to queue. And every time you do that, it's just going to go to the next available spot that you've set in your schedule. So I've got multiple spots here so that I could just jump into this, click add to queue, and it's going to go out at my next time, which is 12:28. But I didn't want it to go out that closely to this video. I could have, but I just wanted it to go out later this afternoon. So that's what I chose to do. Multiple levels of complexity. Ask me any follow-up questions that you have. I'm moving quickly. Okay, so the last thing I want to do is just make sure that I have that link. I just promised the people of Instagram they could click my profile to get to that button. Now I got to make sure that button is actually available inside my link tree. So we just come over here. So this is a bonus material, how we're actually using Linktree. I've got this video. This is kind of cool. I upgraded my link tree so I could use this feature. This button isn't available yet, but it's going to become available at 11 right before that other post goes live. Woo! Multiple levels of complexity. So I've got a video scheduled to release on YouTube. I've got a button scheduled to release in my link tree, and I've got a post scheduled to release right after that in my buffer. I know I'm stepping up the complexity this week. Okay, I'm just looking for my my website treasure hunt. Here it is. I do have it live in the list here, but I want to move it up higher because it's something that I'm talking about today. I want to make sure that it's right at the top. Where'd it go? Here it is. You can see I've got a lot of links in here, a lot of stuff I've shared over these last months, but I want this to be higher on the list. I want it to be right up here. It's going to be this second, it's going to be the top of the list, but that next link is going to become live, and then it'll be the second one right underneath it. As my workshop. Okay, good. Yeah. Okay, good. Yep, that looks good. Okay, so we've got the post ready to go, and now I have confirmed that I do have that button available in that link tree. All right, that was our field trip for the day. Let me know if you have any questions at all about anything that we just did. Your follow-up questions are absolutely welcome. Would love to have those. Okay. Let's jump back to our slideshow. We just have a few more minutes left in the show today, inviting all of your questions, follow-up questions as we go. This would be the time of the show when we would talk about any questions that you have to ask. I will scale the show backward and forward. If we have more questions from our audience, we'll spend more time answering those. If we have fewer questions this week, then that gives me a chance to teach you about something else that I think you'd like to know. So we'll bounce back and forth. I want your questions, though. I want the show to be mostly your questions. Join these conversations that are already happening in our Facebook group. We're talking about customer relationship management tools, project management tools, PR web. If you have any thoughts on these, please jump in. Do you have any more answers we're looking for good books and resources on offline, inexpensive guerrilla marketing techniques. Here is the list, the real quick list. I'm going to read this rapid speed. These are all the questions we've talked about on previous shows. Scheduling tool that integrates with Apple, using PR web, how to use a domain name with Gmail, websites versus funnels, which is best and why, recommendations on client management systems, project management systems, one main website versus multiple landing pages, how to make a buy now button in PayPal, how to add video to a Facebook cover photo, cheap offline marketing, affiliate marketing programs, on both sides, using them to sell your products or using them to earn commission on others. Switching between personal and business profiles on Facebook, the best times of day to send email newsletters, too many links but only one spot to put it, that was it, that's Linktree. Effective ways to market a webinar, the value of WordPress versus other websites, the difference between a .com, .net, .org, advice on growing a YouTube channel, how to grow an email list, business networking, your goals and demographic targeting, and advice on testimonials on one's website. That's all the stuff that we've covered in previous shows. I'm just wanting to take a look at... Here it is. It was the featured topic in episode 7. Episode 7 is where we talked about using Linktree and why you'd want to use that. So check that out there, episode 7. Okay, so what other questions do you have? I want to answer any questions you have on anything that you're using online. I want to talk about your website, your email marketing, your email campaigns, your social media. It could be your website. It could be somebody else's website. It could be a tool that you need to use for your industry or your business. What are those questions? Let me know. You can tweet me, you can send me an email, you can leave a comment under any video or post that you find online. The absolute best place for you to ask your question, though, is inside our Facebook community. So come to the Ask A Web Geek website, AskAWebGeek.com. The very first button you're going to see is this blue button. Let's see if I can reference that for you. Yep. Excuse me, this green button is the first button. That's how to join our Facebook group. Join us there. Also use that blue button to subscribe on YouTube. Would really appreciate that as well. But come into our Facebook group and ask a question. Create a new post. I've created it as a group on purpose so that you can create a post right there on the page with your question. And what's going to happen is two things. Number one, our Facebook community is going to instantly jump on and start giving you their ideas and suggestions. And then I'll take your question and make it a part of our show, and also include their answers and include other feedback and include my thoughts as well. So that's the way it works. Come to our Facebook group, ask any questions you have, and we would love for you to be part of our community. We're here to serve you. We're here to make your business better. That's my whole goal, is to make your business better. Help you use these tools and technologies that exist to make your business better, make you more efficient. I know that you may think, oh my gosh, social media, oh my gosh, writing a blog, one more thing I have to do, one more thing I don't want to have to deal with. Well, I don't want you to have that perspective. I want you to see it the other way around, that these tools and technologies, they're here to make things easier for you. You know, I set up a lot of these social media posts for myself just this last Sunday. I produced the video and then I went in and scheduled a couple posts. You can think of it like that. Take the stuff you're doing in one session, sit down to do some work once and make it work for you. You can use these tools for that reason. You could sit down on one day, a Sunday, a Monday, and you could plan out some social media posts for the rest of the week, for the rest of the month. You can do the same thing with your blog. You can do the same thing with your videos. So batch your time. That means if you're gonna write one post, if you're gonna write one thing, you might as well do a couple of them and schedule them and make yourself more efficient. So that's what I'm here to do, is help you with that process. What are the tools you need to learn more about? What are the questions that you have? What are you struggling with? I want to take obstacles out of your way and get you moving further through the jungle, or I want to teach you about things you didn't even know were possible to get you moving through that jungle faster, better, faster, and easier. Real quick, want to thank our sponsors for the show. We've got the Active Life Company, where you can use this special code WebGeek to get 15% off your purchase of their all-natural skin protectant. Check them out at theactivelifecompany.com. Also, check out my free video workshop, mywebsitesafari.com. Be on the lookout for that social media post from me, which is pre-scheduled to go at 11:11 a.m. this morning, Wednesday, October 16th. So you can see that post go live, and it's going to share with you a video that I made, real quick 2-minute video, where I'm offering for you to offer this to your customers and clients. Give it away as a gift from you. It's my gift to you to give as a gift from you to your clients. May it be a resource that you can share with your clients to help them with their business. mywebsitesafari.com. And finally, please remember my website treasure hunt. This is a service that we offer to review someone's website, go through our 85-point treasure map. We're looking for ways to improve your search, your sales, and your service. This is a private call just between you and me, or your team can be on the call too, you, me, and your team. It can even be recorded, and you can keep that video forever if that's something you choose to do. And we can just look through your website, come up with all these ideas about little things that could be improved. You don't have to have me be the one that makes that website. Maybe you already have your own website team. No problem. But let's take a look at your website and see how it could work better for you, what it could do better, more for your business. We want it to serve you better. We want it to serve your clients better. And we'll look for ways to make that happen. All the links and details for our show, all the episodes are at AskAWebGeek.com. Let me know how I can support you. Let me know what questions you have. Any final comments from our peanut gallery, from our studio audience? Any questions that you guys have before we close out the show here? Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your time and attention. I'm so pleased that you've joined me here in the Web Cave for just a few minutes this morning to talk about some tools and techniques and tricks and things that we can do to make your business better, make you more efficient, make you more money, save you time, and make your business better. Let me go real quick and thank everyone who's dropped in and out of the call. I want to say thanks to Tom. Thank you to Melissa. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, Diana, Garrison, Linda. Thank you all for jumping in and to the live call this morning. Thanks to everyone else that's been posting questions and answers. We've had great information from all of our community, both questions they've asked as well as information they've shared. Love for you to come join us. Go to AskAWebGeek.com to join our Facebook group, subscribe on YouTube, hook up with us on Twitter, subscribe to us as a podcast in any and all of these places. Would love for you to be involved in the show. I'm going to wish you a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday and a wonderful week. Be safe in the jungle this week. Let me know how I can help and support you. From the Web Jungle here in the Web Cave, it's CJ Gilbert reminding you the internet is a jungle. It's too easy to get lost, fall down hidden traps. You need to hire a well-trained guide. Join up with a tribe of people that can lead you through and get you where you want to go. God bless. Have a wonderful week. We'll see you next week in the jungle. Roar. There are a couple ways. The internet's a jungle.